Hi, friends. Happy Thursday. How disorienting. How disorienting for me. What day is it, right? Yes, it's Thursday. I was lurking in the Pen Addict shipping stream, so I was like, yeah, I guess I should go live. um, I'm here because I didn't stream on Monday, so I figured, hey, why not stream an extra or another day this week? So yesterday and today, back to back. It's all good. Hi, Pop Pal Gal. How's it going, friend? Has to be strange for you? Yeah, I mean, look, Monday was a holiday, so the kids were home, so Tuesday just felt like fake Monday. So I'm behind days at this point. But I hope you're well, friends, and I hope wherever you are, the weather's okay and that you've been having an okay week. Um, if you've had any acquisitions lately, let me know. Feel free to share. Let us know what you've gotten. Or if you're really enjoying something lately, let us know too. Um, and yeah, let me know what you've been up to this week because here in BC in the Greater Vancouver area, it's been really nice lately. This past week, last weekend, the sun's been out. It's warm. We've been outside just soaking in as much of the sun as possible before we get into inevitable rainy periods. But it's all good. It feels like spring, so that's kind of nice. Birds are chirping, which is always like a great sign. Um, I'm grateful because I sadly missed yesterday. Yes, you were missed. I know. I was like, "Where's G?" It's okay. Life happens. Life is happening. Um, but yeah, hopefully. Well, I'm glad that you joined today. So maybe it did help that I stream on Thursdays. But yeah, this is not going to be a regular weekly thing. I think next week I'm going to go back to my what Monday and Wednesday regular streams and join other people's streams when they're streaming. Has been 60s and 70s and feels like spring. Oh, that's good. Yeah, we're supposed to have tons of rain the next few weeks. Yeah, I think we have a lot of rain coming, which is good for greenery and good for keeping away wildfires. But, it's one of those things. It's like, it's good, but it's also not good because it's not as enjoyable as the sun is. Mondays and Wednesdays are usually better for me. Oh, good. I'm glad. Um, yeah, I mean, if I figure it's good to keep to some sort of schedule, and Monday and Wednesdays have been working for me, so we'll stick to it for as long as possible. But we will have off days, which is like this week. If there's holidays or something like that, that just can't be avoided. But that's okay. We'll work around it. And we'll just hop from stream to stream and hang out even longer, which is awesome. Love to hang out with you, friends, virtually, in person, wherever, whatever. Uh, Doing arty things, talking about stationary things, just relaxing with fun, creative projects. So, speaking of which, this today I was going to do some ink painting with some ink samples that I got from my friend Pam at the SF Stationery Fest. She just gave me a bag of ink samples, as she does. And so I quickly swatched them, and we're just going to pick a few of them to paint with and just kind of explore them. So I like doing that with new inks that I get and ink samples. Aside from swatching them and cataloging the fact that I have them in my collection, I usually pick some to paint with and kind of explore their different properties, see how they sort of react to different types of paper, and what properties are reflected back when you spend or when you put a little bit more down on paper, which, if you're inking up your pens, you may not be able to see all of the different aspects and tones of your inks, and painting with them is an extra fun way of exploring them and also kind of using them up. Like, let's be real. I'm not going to use up all of these inks in my pens. I don't write that much and I don't ink up that many pens, but painting is kind of fun. I need to do better is watching. Don't we all, Indy? Don't we all? I feel like, I have a system, but I need to be better at staying on top of it and, just kind of documenting things. I also need to update my fountain pen companion database, and I haven't done that in a few months. And so if I do an ink sample exchange, or just for my personal knowledge, right, of how many ink bottles I have and what type of inks I have, it's easy to refer to when I'm buying, new bottles at a show or something, where I'm like, look, I have too many blues, and yet I'm going to buy more blues, right? Same. Yeah, staying on top of it is a hard part. Setting it up is the fun part, right? I love setting up new ways of swatching, and I'm like, ooh, let's use this stamp, and then you can swatch it in the stamp and this and that. But are we consistent? I don't know. That's kind of the trick of it, is staying consistent, having a system that works, that you can easily reference and move through for the purpose of knowing what inks you have and what you want to ink up your pens with, right? Hi, Jack Toy. How's it going, friend? I hope you're having a good week as well. And yeah, so that's kind of my plan for today, is doing some painting. If you did miss yesterday's stream, I did some drawing. So drawing practice using flower photos or reference photos of flowers, and using Tombow dual brush pens and a blender pen to kind of get that very soft watercolor effect. And yeah, that was really fun. So replay is on Twitch, and I'll get the replay out on YouTube shortly, hopefully today. It's one of those things. It just has to be done. And then later this week or this weekend, I'm hoping to publish my latest YouTube video about my Q1 recap of planners and journals that I used. So if you're curious about the planners and journals I've been using this year and how that's going, then look out for that video to come out on YouTube. It's like an hour long because I'm still kind of editing it and like putting in, captions and stuff. But it's like an hour because the second half of it, I'm actually setting up a new TN cover. So I have a new Traveler's Notebook cover in the passport size that I'm using as of April, that I got at the SF Stationery Fest. And so I set that up on screen. And I also added a couple of things to my plotter Mini 5. So again, just accessories I got at the SF Stationery Fest that I'm now using in my planning process. So if that's something of interest, look out for that. And yeah, that's kind of what's going on my end. So let me know what you've been up to. Are you going to any shows coming up? And yeah, what are your plans? What are your plans for the weekend? And what are you up to? Was yesterday the yellow daffodil and another flower? Yes, it was the daffodil and the anemone, which is a fun way of pronouncing a flower. But it was fun because I used two different palettes. So initially I was only going to do one drawing, but then we had plenty of time. So I was like, you know what, let's do another one. So I've been seeing daffodils everywhere. Daffodils here are like the spring flower. So as soon as, you see daffodil bulbs and flowers in the parks and stuff like that, it's like the first sign of spring. So love the yellow, love the brightness and the cheeriness of it. So yeah, it was fun. You were hoping you were watching the right one. Yes, that was the right one. Oh, quack, quack, Dustin. I hope you've been well, friend. It's been a little while since we've met up at a show. Hopefully things are going well with you and your fam and with the little one. They were beautiful. Oh, thanks, friend. That's awesome. Yeah, they turned out okay. Remember, I always have to remind myself it's practice. So when I post photos on socials, I'm always like, oh, I'm glad that they kind of work out and they look fine. But also, you know, if you're doing this on your own time, don't feel the need and pressure to make it look like, you know, it's something that you'd post on social or something. It's just that I've been doing it for quite a while. So I feel comfortable, even if to me I can see little mistakes or little areas where I'm like, oh, this doesn't look natural, or this doesn't look like, you know, the way that a flower would bend or something. To me, it's kind of like, whatever, it's practice, right? So keep that in mind if you're practicing on your own. It doesn't have to look pretty. It doesn't have to look aesthetically, you know, something you would share. It's for you. So have fun with it. Life's been good, just busy with a tiny... I mean, kids. Yeah, I know what you mean. Oh, those kids. I just came out of a 4-day long weekend with them. So, yeah. But hopefully, you know, it's all good, right? You have those good moments, and you have those moments where you're like, just sleep. But it is what it is. Okay, so while we're chatting, I will start to, let's get this going. Actually, I wanted to pick out 4 or 5 inks probably to play around with. So if there's any that you're curious about, let me know. BPC is Birmingham Pen Co. And I'm kind of thinking like maybe Gumball is kind of a nice one to paint with. Maybe even Firebox. And then maybe one of the yellows. Apple Snail. Maybe we'll stick with Birmingham just so we can mix them up a little bit and blend them. But both of those? Oh, awesome. Okay. It's too bad I don't have a green in here for the leaves, but I think, you know what, we might end up going with kind of like a like dried leaf vibe or something that kind of blends into the background, and then let these colors really stand out. So apple snail too. Yeah, apple snail's nice. I think we'll do like a yellow. We'll do apple snail, firebox, gumball, and maybe prickly pear is kind of nice. We'll see. Monarch, it's like a yellow, orange. That's kind of cool. Prickly pear for the leaves. Yeah, I agree. We're on the same page. So let's see. We have gumball, prickly pear, firebox, and apple snail. Maybe let's do those ones. Same wavelength, yeah. Do you have shower scum? I do not, Dustin. And the name itself, you know, just for the name, it sounds like a great... I have seen the swatch of it, though, but... I love the naming of Birmingham inks. They're definitely very descriptive, or, you know, very, very close to the color that you would imagine it would be. Shower scum is so good. Only in the context of inks. I probably won't make it to any shows this year, but hopefully next year. Yeah. It's all good, Dustin. Gotta take care of things, and there's always next time. But just know you're missed. All right. So yesterday when I was swatching these inks, just doing like a quick swatch on this paper, and I was dipping my glass spoon swatcher in water, and I noticed how highlighter yellow the water got. And is that like, so you can see it here, it's like highlighter yellow, especially in the, you know, the browns and the oranges and some of the brighter colors. Is that like a general thing with like brighter inks? Because I don't know if I've noticed that before. Like it's like a highlighter yellow tone to it. It's just really interesting. And I suspect that's just part of like the ink formulation and how you get to that color. But I'm wondering if it's like a Birmingham thing, or if it's just a general, like if you have red, orange, yellow inks probably. Because that would kind of make sense. But let me move this. Let me move this away. I miss you all too. I feel like a piece of me is missing. Not going to show, I know. You and Annabelle, right? It's like one of those, you know, you just gotta do the rounds and sit with friends at shows and hang out with them. And if someone's missing, you're kind of like, where are my friends? I miss the catch-ups. I have an editing software question for you lovely peeps. I'm entertaining the idea of starting a YouTube channel, but I have never messed with editing much. Any suggestions other than CapCut? Yeah. Sorry, it's not as good as sugar kelp, but nothing as shower scum. Good question, Papa Gal. Editing software-wise, I stick with very basic. So I'm probably not the best person to ask, because I just use iMovie on my Mac and do the free thing. Yeah, and that's kind of what I stick with. But I know there are other ways of doing it as well. I have TCMC Murky Pond on the way. Yay, Inky! Since we're talking about weird named greens. Yes, I do as well. I think it's actually being delivered today. So I was hoping that I would have it in time for the stream, but I think I'll probably have it by tonight. So yeah, I'm really excited for that, because it's one of those grays that I'm actually really liking. So to me, you know, if you can give me an ink that's like a color, like gray, but then it's really interesting because it has different tones and different qualities to it, then I am all in, because I love those, like, you know, different, I love having different types of ink colors or shades of the same color, and being able to kind of be like, I'm in the mood for like dark gray or a green gray or, you know, whatever. So yeah, I'm really excited to get my bottle. Yeah. I did too. I'm excited for this. Yeah. Actually, you were thinking about iMovie. Yeah. For now, it's probably just fine. There's a pro version, right, for Apple, and CapCut is another one of those. But yeah, there's different options depending on how intense or how involved you want to be. Like, depending on what kind of edits, what kind of things you need to work with in it, I guess. For me, my videos are not super fancy. They're very similar to my streams. And usually what I do is I film myself just nattering away, just chatting about whatever, you know, showing things, flipping through books and stuff. And then afterwards I kind of like cut and slice it as I need to shorten the video. But a lot of times, like, I don't do a lot of additional things. Voiceover once in a while, but not really. Next show, I kind of want to go to a show I haven't been to and just go as a spectator. Yeah. Because usually you're like at a table, right? Or doing behind the scenes things, managing things. Yeah, going as a spectator is nice. I did that for, or at the California Pen Show last year, right? And it's kind of nice. Like no expectations, no schedule, just whatever you want to do. It is nice. I'm using my custom smooth italic nib. Oh, awesome. Yeah, go hang out in Chicago. Take me with you. Yeah, good to know. I will say, in terms of if you are going to be recording YouTube videos or video footage for YouTube, I would say focus on audio because if people can't hear you, it's kind of one of those things where if people can't hear you, then that's probably not too good. But having a strong a microphone or some way of for people to understand what you're saying, enunciating, right? Like being able to understand what you're talking about. That's kind of important. And then, yeah, visual wise, like lighting is kind of important as well. I have a window, 3 windows actually, so I get nice natural lighting. So I try and film when, like during the day, when I'm able to get nice lighting in. But also, a ring light or just soft lighting that will make it visually appealing and people can see what you're actually doing and talking about. That's kind of important. I just ordered a custom smooth italic nib from Kirk. Can't wait for it to get here. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm so happy for you, Indy. I think you're going to have lots of fun with it. And I'm glad that Kirk's going to do it to your liking as well. Because I feel like, a lot of times when we're excited about getting new nibs, but it's not tuned to us or it's not ground for our style of writing or size of writing, it can be a little disappointing, and it's not always the type of nib. Sometimes it's just that it's not tuned to your grip or your angle or your writing style. So let us know when you do get it. Let us know what you think. Chicago's high on your list, Dustin. It is high on my list too. So many friends there, so many things to see. It's also on the other side of the coast. It's on the other side. So yeah, well, maybe one of these years, right? As gifted Rode microphones for Christmas. Yeah, that would be helpful. Definitely. Awesome. Just anything that's not like you talking into a computer microphone, a computer setup. So, all right. While we're talking, I'm going to start painting. And what I use for painting with fountain pen inks and just kind of exploring them is the Everyday book from Galen Leather, because it has Tomoe River Paper. And so it kind of gives me a feel for how these inks would look like on TRP, because a lot of the notebooks that I use have TRP in them. But I just want to point out that I have like 4 pages left. And so once I'm done this, I'm still kind of debating whether or not I want to continue in a TRP notebook, because personally I'm starting to move away from Tomoe River Paper. I'm not a huge fan of Sanzen, so it's just the feel of it, the use of it is fine, but it's not something that, I'm really loving. So I may move over to Midori, but I also have to kind of consider that it's cream paper, so that may also have an effect on, or that would have an effect on how the inks would look. So something to think about, but we'll see. And I have other notebooks with other different kinds of papers, but it may not be as relatable to people if you're watching my stream or replays. The other book I use is a watercolor sketchbook, so it's watercolor paper, and I love comparing inks on watercolor paper because you can add water to it, of course. It's able to handle it. And you can dilute the inks a little bit to get, more of a look at it, especially if it's a dark color and it's super saturated. Then a lot of times if you're putting ink down, it's just like, a blob of dark color ink. But with watercolor paper, you can kind of move it around a little bit, add water if you need to, and get a better feel for the ink. And I feel like it helps me enjoy, the inks a little bit more as well. Well, it's going to be extra fine. Yeah, I'm sure you'll like it. It'll have, I assume, it'll just have that little bit of variation that you'll notice as you're writing. And I think that will help make it enjoyable. And just a different kind of experience, right? I'm guessing it's enough to be perfect for you. Yeah, that's why I'm curious. Let us know. Because I think the finest custom grind I have is on a fine nib by Kirk, actually. I have a couple of custom grinds on fine nibs. And it was just because I wanted to do a little something with them because I'm not a huge fan of fine nibs for regular writing. And so I don't often use them. Midori's expanding their white cotton line, I believe. Yeah. It'll be available in A5 once more. Yeah, that's good to know. I also talked to April at the SF Stationery Fest because she was kind of at the Midori table, but also plotter. And yes, she mentioned that, they're going to be releasing a lot more notebooks, a lot more different types of paper. So there's the Midori thick paper that's coming out. And then the cotton notebooks for sure. I'm really excited for like different sizes, right? And you can kind of, throw them into covers you have or include them in your lineup of notebooks that you use, especially if you're like, you use a typical size. It's always kind of nice to stick to the size that you feel comfortable using. But that being said, I do have a couple of Midori cotton notebooks. And I want to explore using them with coloring pencils or colored pencils. So we'll see, because I do like the feel of pencils and graphite on cotton paper. It's just really, really nice. So, all right, let's swatch these inks. So we have Gumball. And also going to do it there. That's really pretty. Then we have apple snail. Well, let's see. Actually, let's do prickly pear because it's a darker version of, or like a darker tone. That's really nice. I wish you were closer to me. You have notebooks you can share? Oh no, Indy. Although I will say I have a lot of notebooks. I don't know if I need more, though I'd love that. Yeah, very excited not to have to hoard the old ones. You were afraid to use them? Yeah, because of if they were going to be available again. I'm glad that they're really leaning into their products and their lineups, because I know they're kind of, in the past they've been minimal in terms of just a few offerings of the different types of paper or sizes, and I have a feeling that, you know, as they sort of expand their line of products under MD product, we're going to see a lot more interesting things, I think, that are more, you know, in line with that whole feel of a simple life, or simple, or not simple, but, you know, like a relaxing lifestyle, or like relaxing into your stationery products. Oh, if you've got to run to the post office in a bit. Package is there. How exciting. I feel like waiting for the package is always the hardest part, right? And then once it's there, it's like, ah. We are excited for you. Not your nib yet, though. What if we held like a virtual pen show? Yeah. Ooh, if you could purchase something too. Okay. You sent pics to yes. Yes, you could. And we talk about everything. Not the same, I know. Yeah. It's not the same, but, you know, virtually would be fun too. Yeah. All right, so now we have Firebox, which is that really nice, like burnt orange or burnt red. So let's try that out. Ooh, nice. What is a Firebox? I have no idea. Oh yeah, this one definitely made my water highlighter yellow. Oh yeah, you can kind of see it as soon as I touched it. So I may have to clean out or get some clean water. Okay. And then fourth we have apple snail. So this is going to be more yellowish. Yellow with some brown. Very nice. I feel like this palette might be a little bit more full, like maybe, but that's okay. We'll see. We'll see once we're done. Hi, bye, Apple Tater. I want to go to the virtual pen show. It'll be much easier to find good snacks, right? Yeah, for sure. Plus, you can stay in your jammies. Yeah, you can wear sweats and PJs and not have to change into anything. You can just sit there with snacks and stay hydrated, of course. I know, why is it so difficult to find snacks and food at pen shows? I always bring them, inevitably. Granola bars, and even like instant coffee sachets. Yeah, because at least you can get hot water at one of those machines, like where you can fill up your water bottle. So that's really helpful, because no, I don't want to buy like 3 cups of coffee per day that I'm there. Or tea or whatever. And snacks too. Yeah, it's kind of like, is it worth going out to get lunch, right, somewhere else if you have to kind of venture out? I love that at the California Pen Show, there was like a mall right across the street. So at least like just walk across the street and you can find different options. But in SF, there's like few options. At least like 1 or 2 walking distance, a few options, a little bit further of a walking distance. But again, you're kind of like, how much time do I have to be out and about getting food, right? Yeah, bring your own snacks. And I always bring chocolates and things like that for people who are there, but also, you know, in case you just need a sort of pick-me-up, I know sugar is probably not the best thing, but it's one of those things that's kind of universal in terms of like, do you just need like a quick, quick burst of energy or quick burst of, yeah, just so you can get through. All right, let's see. I'm gonna start with this. Oh, and I should mention too, this really, really pretty palette is from my friend Marina at Studio Aquamarina, and she was at the SF Stationery Fest, and she was sharing a table with Galen from Fountain Pendulum, who makes these really, really, really nice handmade wooden sort of pen accessories. So vial holders and pen rests and pen trays and things like that. So they were sharing a table. It was really, really cool. So these are made by hand too, by Marina. She's a potterer. Is that people who do pottery? Are you potterers? Oh, Championette, thanks for the follow. Welcome in. Yeah, SF is kind of a food desert. Yeah. If it wasn't for DoorDash, yeah, I mean, yeah, you can order things, but it's like for sure. Hellcat, how's it going? What is the ink palette today? A potter, perhaps. Yeah, right? Like a potter. Pottery person. Potter. I'm using 4 ink samples. Part of a bag of ink samples that my friend gave to me at the SF Stationery Fest. So we are going to be sampling or painting with Birmingham Pen Co. Gumball, Firebox, so these two, and Apple Snail, this nice yellow, and Prickly Pear, which is, what is this? Like a purple black? So those are our 4 colors. And I'll write the names here once this kind of dries too. But I am doing, I'm going to paint with them on TRP, Tomoe River Paper, as well as watercolor paper. So I think I'm going to add a little bit of yellow, if I can, in here. Just to add another layer of color on top of this really nice purple. And then do a little purple here. This is really nice. This is Gumball. The first Fade King. Self-raid. I love it. Awesome. Welcome in, Raider. I love it. Awesome. Bootleg raid from Brad. Oh, got it. Got it. These are the shipping streamers. Hello. Welcome in. Arkham 1981. Welcome. Hi, pen addicts and fellow stationery people. I hope the shipping stream was fun. I was lurking, and then I was like, yeah, I probably should go live and do something. So here I am painting with ink, fountain pen inks. So you're just in time to have some painting fun with me. I hope the stream went well. Maroon, sort of. Thanks, Hellcat. I think that's what I was, maroon or burgundy, right? Is this Prickly Pear by Birmingham Pen Co. It's like a maroon, burgundy, purple. I have Apple Snail. I need Firebox and Gumball. Awesome. Hey, Bailey. How's it going, friend? Lurking. Enjoy your lurk. Love it. Bootleg raid. Well, thanks so much for the follow, friends. Welcome in. Yeah, hey Raiders. And pretty flowers, thank you. I love pink, purple, and orange. Awesome. Well, we're definitely gonna lean into more of the fall type of colors. But I think because the purple's there, I think we're going to springify it a little bit. Just got a sample of BPC Shower Scum. Dustin was talking about that earlier in the stream. And yeah, Shower Scum, I love the swatch. Don't love the real thing, but the ink looks great. Thanks so much for the follow, Hambo Hounslow. You're the second person to say that. Yeah, right? Shower Scum, it's all about that. BPC Monarch is a great orange. Yeah, I love how bright it is. So that may be a definite painting ink, because I don't tend to ink up a lot of pens with this sort of bright orange or even like red colors. But for painting, it's like such a natural, fun, cheery way of getting flowers onto paper. Rotted Cork is a good brown too. These ink names, right? The best. So good. So if you're new to my stream, I'm Corolla. On socials, I'm from Corolla. You may see me in other streams chatting, Brad's stream, Lisa, all of Octopus's stream, and others. And I also love all things stationery. What I tend to do is more of an abstract floral art style, and I love painting, so I use watercolor paints, I use fountain pen inks, and any other kind of stationery I can explore and have fun with in a very sort of relaxing and just kind of an abstract way of having fun with stationery. So yeah, welcome in. So today you've caught me in a painting stream, so that's what we're doing. And the four, you can see by the swatches, there are 4 fountain pen inks that I'm painting with that are part of some samples that I got from my friend Pam at the SF Stationery Fest. Most of them are Birmingham Pen Co. And so I thought that it would be kind of fun to paint with 4 of these just to explore them a little bit more. And the reason why I paint with fountain pen inks, you can ask, anyone who likes to swatch with inks or use them in different ways, aside from inking up your pens, is it's another way of kind of enjoying your inks, using them up, especially if you have a lot of sample inks and sample vials hanging around. Throw them into a paint palette, and grab a paintbrush and just paint with them, right? Start exploring them a little, especially if they are, if they have shimmer, if they have sheen, any kind of shading. It's really, really pretty to see them, like, sort of those properties stand out after you paint with them. And yeah, so today I'm using a notebook from Galen Leather. It's called the Everyday Book, and it has TRP, so Tomoe River Paper, and I'm also using a watercolor sketchbook. So it's kind of nice to compare how fountain pen inks perform and reflect on different types of paper. So if you've seen me do painted pieces before, then you kind of see the kind of style that I use. And also, yeah, I love throwing ink on paper. So I will always encourage you to do that. I do not like Shower Scum. I gave mine away. Really, Bailey? That's interesting. Not to me, right? I didn't get it. It's all good. BPC Purple, I go to Fortune Teller. Oh, interesting. All these different ink, I have to say, being able to, or not being able to access Birmingham Pen Co. up here in Canada easily, it's kind of nice to get these samples where I'm just like, wow, these are really nice inks. They're really fun. So fun to paint with, fun to kind of explore. And I'm finding that there's so many, there's so many different shades and names. So that's awesome. So the 4 inks that I'm painting with are Prickly Pear. So So this really nice maroon, burgundy, purpley color. Apple Snail. Oh, I'll hold it up closer. This yellow. And then these two, Firebox and Gumball. So we have some bright colors, and it'll be kind of fun to explore blending and mixing them too. So that's kind of what I'm doing now. Is the first layer is Gumball, and so that's the purple. And then I kind of went in with Apple Snail, which is the yellow, and then add a little bit on top. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a little bit of the yellow as kind of accent colors or accents on the side, just so we have like an actual swatch of this color in here. So let's do it with the purple here. And the really cool thing about painting on watercolor paper is you can layer, you know, ink on top of ink, and even after it dries, you can add another layer if you want to. And you can add water as well to dilute the color a little bit, especially if it's a dark color. It's kind of nice to see what it would look like if you spread out the color a little bit. So it's not just a big dark blob. So that's kind of nice too. So I'm just going to add a little bit of yellow. To here. And then on the side as well. So just a little bit, not too much. Should look up shower scum, by the way. I know I saw a swatch of it when it first came out, I think. And I was like, oh, this is a nice color. The name is even cooler. Okay, here it is. So yeah, that is nice. Very cool. Love that. But it's not, that's sheen, right? It's not a shimmer ink. Also very gross. Because how accurate is it to shower scum, right? Ooh. I do kind of like it. Ugly brown. But in a good sheen. Okay, yeah. Okay. That was very bright sheen. Oh, so funny. So good in an ugly but good way. All right, so now we have Firebox. So let's throw some of that on there. And that's this really nice rusty red. Let's see. Yeah. So I can see how this would be dark if you're kind of the initial, it's pretty saturated. So if you're using this in a fine nib or something smaller. And then if you are using it on watercolor paper, if you just add a little bit of water to it and move it around a little bit, you get kind of the lighter shade, less saturated. You can spread it out a little bit. But it won't look super accurate to your ink swatch, which is fine if you're just kind of having fun with it. Look up rotted cork. Yeah, you know what? I will. Because as soon as you mentioned that, I was like, oh. I think I know what it would look like. Oh, I don't think I would have guessed this. I thought it would be darker. Let's take a look at this. Oh, maybe. Yeah. Is it legible though? It looks pretty light. But I guess where, like, because this is spread out a little bit, it looks lighter than it may in a pen. It's darker in real life. Okay, yeah, that's cool. It's interesting. It's interesting. I don't know if I like it. I'm kind of on the fence about it. I feel like I would need to see writing samples of it, maybe. But it's definitely interesting. I would be excited to try it out. I was given a BPC red called Butcher's Broom I like. Ooh, let's just keep looking. Butcher's Broom. Ooh. Let's take a look at this. Whoa. That's nice. Yeah, it leans more red. That would look great to paint with as well. I like it. Good day, Defense D. How are you doing? I'm so excited. It's going to be great. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, okay. You nailed down your itinerary. You'll go tomorrow. That's awesome. Have fun. Have fun at Yoseka. Let us know what you pick up, including ink and anything else. You know we're going to be curious. I'm slightly jelly. Just slightly jelly? I mean, it's going to be really fun, I think. Just kidding. I know you're excited too. Almost oxblood shade. Yeah, almost. I agree. Almost. BPC Fieldstone is the one I want to ink up at the moment. Fieldstone? What's this? Ooh, I like this. Take a look at this one. That's nice. That's also very interesting. I wonder if you see more of this gray, tone, and then some of this like light purpley pink. Very interesting though. Fieldstone. Yeah, I'd want to ink that up too. That's very interesting. I'm good officially entering the not getting anything done before the long weekend stage. Yeah, we know that well. Almost like Water Bear or Megalodon. I remember that one being fun to sketch. Ooh. Fieldstone. Oh, that is very cool. It's a naturally occurring type of stone which lies at or near the surface of the earth. Very interesting. All right. Very, very cool. Birmingham Pen Co, I have to say, has a lot of inks, right? Like, I feel like there's so many different names to remember and to be like, oh, I tried this. Because I feel like I've tried quite a number of them through just ink samples that friends have shared. And I still don't think I've scratched the surface of the inks that they have had available. Anyways, I don't think all of them are... I don't know how often they kind of bring inks back once they sell out, but... Okay, now we have Prickly Pear. So let's do that. This is the darker one. So let's just kind of add a little bit. Yeah, that's nice. Then maybe we'll use that as leaves or leaf shapes. Maybe. Just a little bit. Just because we don't have a green, which, you know, is an obvious indicator of leaves, but in the absence of a green, and does Birmingham Pen Co have a nice green? But in the absence of it, we'll just make it look like it's kind of in the shadow or in the dark in the background. Yellow. I seem to be drawn to colors that can't make up their mind what color they are. I love that Hellcat because I think I know what you mean. I'm just like, I have so many, I have seen and have many inks that are like their actual color. And now I'm kind of like, oh, You should be like somewhere in between. You should be an in-between color. Ooh, I love this. Thanks for sharing that, Lisa. Very cool. Boysenberry. That's nice. Ah, Fieldstone. Oh, that is cool. I like that. Because it's like a cooler mauve type of vibe. Grayish though. I like it. Chrysanthemum. That's nice. Copperhead. Interesting. For sure. Yeah. Fieldstone is very cool. Boysenberry is nice too. I like this ink. Warringal, The Sorrows of Young Werther. Warringal. Yes. What's happening here? What color is this? A blue, gray, green. Somewhere in between green, gray, and blue. I love that. That's awesome. Yes, it's so true. What's going on here? What color are you? I guess it's that initial kind of like main color or shade that you get out of it, right? Yeah. Alongside these other, you know, different types of colors and shades masquerading as one color, but it's not. I love that. That's awesome. As long as it's legible, I'm all for it. It's always when it's kind of like, I can't even read it, you know, that's when I'm out. I have blueberry. Awesome. Kentucky Bluegrass is a great BPC green. Ooh, okay. Let's see. Let's look it up. Ah. It is very, yeah, it's a green. That's cool. That's a nice green. Oh, petroleum. Whoa, lots of greens. Let's see. But I do have to say, with greens, I'm more drawn to like an olivey green. So like a green yellow or green brown. I don't know why. Less of like an emerald or bright green. Or true green, I guess. Yeah, this is nice. This is a darker green. But for painting, you know, greens are really good because obviously it's more of a leaf color and they're brighter and cheery. Hot rolled steel. Ooh, that's dark. That is moody. This is a stormy green. That's nice though. It's like a green black. Great writing ink if you're into dark inks, which I kind of am, so. And petroleum. Ooh. Very nice. Probably not a green I would write with, but definitely would have some fun with painting. Yeah, they're really nice though. These are great inks. Awesome. You need to start getting more inks. You keep buying pens. What are you putting in these pens, friend? Pop out gal. All the BPC are fun to sketch, really? Yeah, I can see that because you're, it's the visuals that they evoke and also like the connection to these different things. Like it's very creative. Birmingham Pen Co. Yeah. Yeah, thanks all of Octopus. And Bailey. Rotten Seaweed is a good one. Ooh. Right? Like these names are just the best. The worst, but in a good way. Ooh, I like that. Yeah, that is nice. Yeah. That's a good green. It's like a green yellow. Very cool. I'm a sucker for green. That's so funny. Here are all your greens, Papa Gal. I hope you're taking notes. BBC Sugar Kelp. Let's see. Ooh. Whoa. What's happening here? Something is rotting. There's definite mold on the kelp. Oh, that's nice though. Yeah. It looks very much like textured. This is the textured color. Oh, I like it. It leans, it's a green that leans yellow. So it looks like a mustardy green. That's awesome. I mix sugar kelp with BPC Interstellar Bronze. Ooh, that's an interesting ink for sure. Whoa. That's so interesting. Wow. So does it mostly show as green then? And then you get a little bit of the yellow or bronze? Wow. Yeah, rich colorant saturation. Testing the limits, I would say. Cosmic curiosity, so on point. Very cool. Yeah, interstellar bronze. It's out of this world. I'm taking notes. Good. Yeah, I'm calling you out. In a good way. Nothing wrong with getting more pens than inks. Yeah. If you have samples, Diamine Advent. There's also nothing wrong with having like you like a certain ink color and that's all you're going to use and that's all you're going to stick to, and then exploring different types of pens to use it with. Yeah, you do you. There's so many different ways of having fun and being curious and in this hobby. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to own all of the inks or all of the ink colors at all. It's mostly the kelp color with the bronze sheen. Yeah, okay. That makes a lot of sense. All right. So in that time, well, this is still drying a little bit. This one is pretty dry, I think. Okay, so I'm gonna name these inks so we remember. Let's see. Okay. So this is called Gumball, Birmingham. Gumball. Whoa. And then this is Prickly Pear. Then we have Firebox. And then Apple Snail. Is apple snail a type of snail? Ah, apple snails. I can see why Lisa would have so much fun sketching these. You learn something, you know. Very interesting. I guess this is kind of closest to it because it's a yellow. Large family of freshwater snails. Huh. Very cool. Apple snail. She's got them apple bottom snails. Well, now that tune is stuck in my head. I love it. All you need is Sailor Akibi, according to certain people. Careful, because, you know, we'll just spicy miso will be just kind of show up. Be like, you called? Someone said Akibi? Too funny. Yeah, thanks. Yeah. I hope Spicy does. That would be amazing. That would be like the best timing ever in the world of Akibi. All you need is pen friends to send you samples, yeah. Or to bring them to events. Sailor Akibi is a magenta color. And it's actually really nice. It's a very nice ink. Sailor Manyo Akibi. So that's this one. And yeah, it's very nice. It's a bright color. Medium magenta purple. Wow, look at that. It's similar to, in my mind anyways, or to me, it's similar to Wearing Gold Cheshire Cat. So I wonder if it's, I shouldn't have this on here, but in terms of like a family of like magenta, pink, purples, and or Yamabudo, yeah, pretty similar. So if you're into those types of shades, Akibi is a good one. Or to Spicy Miso, it is the only one. Well, yeah, for Manyo, that's dark. It's like bright in terms of like the colorway, I guess. But it is dark in that it looks pretty saturated, even though you do get that magenta purpley look. Okay, this one's dry. So let's just, actually, I'm going to do some drawing on top. So when I draw on top of my ink paintings, it's more so just to add you know, details of flowers, so it looks a little bit more like a bouquet. And I use a Kakimori stainless steel nib. The holder is from Zodiac Pens, so from Bart. Usually when I say Bart, he appears, so we never know. But I like using a dip nib, especially if it's on watercolor paper, because of the texture, and, you know, just getting ink on there. So I'm not like using a pen or anything that will catch on texture or textured paper. And I use a Kakimori pigment ink, black pigment ink, mostly because it's pigment. It will sit on top of ink and not start to blend with it or reactivate the ink that's underneath. It will sit on it and, you know, stand out. And so I kind of like using waterproof inks, or, you know, pigment inks for this. And then the other reason is because also I don't tend to use this too much in my fountain pens, but I do love using pigment inks with dip pens because, you know, you can clean it out and it's fine. But the look of it is just, it's really good. It's really nice. Just how dark and pigmenty it is. Especially if you're drawing or sketching or something like that on top of other colors. So you do want the you know, the inks that you have already down to stand out, but you also want, like for me, I want those lines to be visible and to show, you know, where those flowers or leaves or whatever are. So I don't put too much down on the paper, but just enough to kind of surround my outlines and give it a little bit more detail. So I do like how the yellow kind of blended in with the purple here. That's really nice. If I could only have one ink, Marzan Eternal Blue. That's yours, huh? That's your ink. Let's see. Fountain Pen Pharmacist. I don't know who this is, but Eternal Blue, medium blue with high shading, red sheen. Oh, the color is similar to Robert Oster Lake of Fire, which I have. It is a very nice blue. Oh, it's nice and dark. Very cool. That's a nice blue. I like it. Fun to have a color like that. I use Violet B from Octopus. Yeah, that's nice. Violet B. It's a very pretty color. I haven't really tried any of the Octopus Fluids inks, but they are nice. They look nice. Yeah, it is a nice color. I have 2 bottles. I like it so much. Anytime a friend goes to Japan, I get a bottle. Yeah, it's kind of worth doing it that way. You never know if they ever discontinue or, you know, you just can't find it anymore. I'm waiting for a pen friend to send me a bottle of Diamine and Blue Black Pen English Milk Tea he got me in Korea. That is... Oh, interesting. I'm learning I like dark inks. Yeah. Welcome to the club. I do love dark inks. Oh, okay. Here we go. Ooh. Pixelette Studio is Vancouver based. So I wonder, I know it's sold out, but I wonder if they might get more. That's nice. English milk tea. Yeah. That's a nice brown, like a latte, you know, cafe brown. Very nice. I feel like that about browns too, right? Like just brown in general is it's a nice color, especially if like I want to stay away from black ink for certain, you know, types of writing or something I'm journaling about and I don't want to like go aggressive black. And brown or gray is sort of that in between, or even blue, like a dark blue. But with brown, it's always like I have the general brown color in inks, and so, you know, unless it's like an interesting type of the shade of brown, I'm kind of like, I have enough brown. But I love, like, you know, different shades of it where it's like, you know, warmer tones, or if it has like a yellow tint to it or something like that. It's kind of interesting. But I have brown and it's like, I'm good. Alright, so let's let that dry a little bit more. So you can kind of see with like pigment inks, right? You can see the black just kind of sitting on top. So it's just a matter of letting it dry, but when it does, it's still like, it doesn't fade into the inks that you have underneath. So that's kind of nice about using a pigment ink. Yeah, Pixelette. I like a good brown. Now you want more coffee, right? I'm gonna have my tea. Yeah, with how bad tariffs are and shipping cost, you'll never get a bottle of ginger chicken. Yeah. But if we met at an event, I could give you some. Ruby Jane, thanks so much for the follow, and thanks for being here. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, Ginger Chicken is a great ink. It is a really, really nice one. I feel like that whole line the collaboration Wonder Pens did with Dominant Industry. Just each shade is really nice. Like, it's well thought out in terms of yeah, the shade of it is like also great naming. Yeah, we need to get you dark ink colors. You have Ginger Chicken Pearl. That's a nice one. I have a sample of it, and I'm like, I don't want to use it up. But at the same time, it is a nice shade. Enjoy that. Also hard to come by. Sometimes these collaboration inks they sell out really quickly sometimes, or you kind of have to wait for restocks, and it's worth it, but it's also a wait. All right, so this I think is dry. Very cool. That purple is really nice. Gumball. That's a very nice purple. I also really like how the yellow, the apple snail on the gumball sort of mellows it down a little bit, and it's kind of this like interesting color again. Like, what are we doing here? Are we yellow? Are we, like a green, beige, tan? More like a tan color probably. Very cool. I think the purple in there and the yellow definitely lighten up the palette a little bit, so that's good. You've been auto-modded, Pop Gal. What are you saying? I'll allow it. Because you're right. Yeah. Looks like Ginger Chicken is sold out. Though they do restock that, I want to say like regularly, but it does take them a little bit of time. So I don't think it's ever like always sold out for too long. But yeah, those inks go fast sometimes. And usually they make a batch before events that Wonder Pens will be at, or things that are happening around them. So the Toronto Pen Show and other things, or stationary events that might be happening in Toronto. Those flowers turned out cool. Yeah, not bad. They kind of worked. Even the leaves. I'm not hating the leaves. Next time I need a green, but that's okay. I was wondering what I said. You said ginger. I don't know. A ginger chicken. Twitch was like, what? What are you saying? Is that an insult? I need to try tuna gray. Yeah, it's a really nice gray. It's like it's on my list of grays that I really, really like. Let me see. I did do, let me see if I can find it. Oh, here we go. Let's put that there. So this is the 4 main inks that are part of the collaboration. So ginger chicken, very nice. Oh, this was ginger chicken pearl, so the shimmer version. So you can see the shimmer in there. So ginger chicken is basically this without shimmer. But tuna gray, it's a really nice like charcoal gray. And then tuna and olives, this green, just right up my alley in terms of greens that I really like. And then chicken in the sky with diamonds, which is kind of more of a teal or a green blue. It's very nice too. Yeah. So initially when they first launched or released their collaboration inks with Dominant Industry, it was ginger chicken without shimmer and tuna gray. So those were their initial ones. So chicken and tuna, if you don't know the story, are shop cats. So they're cats that, live around the shop of Wonder Pens. And so, the inks were named in honor of them. And then they kind of went with it. So the next 2 that were released were chicken in the sky with diamonds, and then tuna and olives. So chicken and tuna. Very cute. I love the flowers. Oh, thank you so much. I'm glad you enjoy it. It's too bad it's a Canada-based store. I mean, it's not too bad for me. Whenever I visit my family in Toronto, I always stop by. But yes, it is. It's one of those shops that, if you can't easily access or order from too, right? Like they are a small shop. But if ever you're able to visit them, it's definitely worth a trip. Worth a trip out. Yeah, it's named after their cat. They have a dog now too. I don't know if you've seen their Instagram stories and posts, but they have a dog who's super, super cute, but a little bit of a troublemaker. I forget the name this minute, but it's a really cute dog. So I wonder if like their next sort of, ink releases will somehow include this cute dog. Yeah, we just need Corolla. I will bring them to events. If you need samples, I can also order bottles, but if they're in stock and I can access them. But I do have the inks. I'm more than happy to share samples. Yeah. I'll bring them to the SF Pen Show. TCMC or the Coffee Monsters Co. inks too. I have those as well. Some of these inks are hard to come by, right? Like in terms of just being able to order them or get them from retailers in Canada or, you know, partner shops as well. They sell up pretty quickly. But let's see, let's compare. So I love doing this after I paint with inks, especially if I'm using different paper, of course, right? I love comparing the different properties that you can see, the brightness, the vibrancy, right? So this, if you use fountain pen friendly paper or, you know, Tomoe River paper, this is more like what you would tend to see if you inked up your pens with these inks. And then maybe if you did long form writing and you sort of, you know, you lose some of that saturation from initially writing with a pen, and it lightens up a bit, sometimes you'll get to see these lighter tones of the inks. And you know, unless you're mixing inks, you probably won't see the way that they blend together and the way that they mix together. But I do love seeing these inks on watercolor paper, just because you get to see how vibrant they are. And also sometimes you see different tones that may not be obvious on TRP or when you're writing with the ink. But when you're kind of painting with it or exploring it a little bit more, sometimes you see different tones that layer up to the ink color. So that's kind of nice too. Sometimes inks will look a little darker too on watercolor paper just because it's saturated. And watercolor paper will absorb a lot more ink than a fountain pen friendly paper would. But even with, you know, painting on this paper, except for when I, you know, just really put down the ink, it's fine. It's not too much. So that is kind of nice. Yeah, so apple snail here, right? It looks a little lighter than it does here. It's definitely kind of a bright yellow, yellow brown. You can also see a little bit of a gradient in terms of the color for Firebox. I do like prickly pear. Is that like, you get, you know, it would be dark, but I like the purple tone to it. So that is really nice. Especially if you're into using dark inks, but you know, you don't want to use black all the time. I got ink from somewhere. If you kind of want to expand from just using black ink, right? You can get some of these darker colors where the more you write, you start to see the underlying shade to it as well, which is really nice. The shipping was as much as the bottles. Oh man, that's brutal. Yeah. Yeah, it has been rough. Prices just keep going up, right? So especially with pens and just like the higher priced items that already were kind of like, oh, it's a splurge. It's a splurge purchase. And it just keeps rising, and then it's sort of, you know, you have to kind of pick and choose what you actually want and what you're able to access and purchase too. So these BPC colors turned out really great together, right? What a great palette. I think we did well choosing this palette. Thank you for the help. I definitely was kind of like, ooh, I don't know. I don't know which ones I'm going to paint with, because they are all really nice. They're all really cool. So we didn't paint with Monarch, which is like bright orange. And Dogbane beetle. Is that a type of beetle? And then I have 3 other ones that are not Birmingham Pen Co. Kuretake Arishu, Califolio, Havan, Monteverde Lion. It's a nice yellow too. A little bit darker, so it's like a yellow-brown. But very, very nice shades of, like, you know, earthy tones, and also yeah, if you're kind of into these types of colors, but different shades of them. So very nice. Great palette of colors. Have you tried BPC Waterfront Dusk? I have not. Which one is this? Ooh, I like it. That's nice. Yeah, that's really nice. I like the off purples, like purple pinks, magentas, and yeah, I tend to lean towards more of this type of shade. For sure. It's really nice. I like it. I feel like all of the recommendations or all of the suggestions we've gone through today, like every time I look it up, I'm like, yep, this is really nice. Show me one that you don't like so I can cross it off my list. So I'm like, you know what? That's an ink I would not get. Thank you. Maybe some of the brighter greens, to be honest. Just because I'm just not drawn to bright greens. Unless I get a sample, and I will definitely paint with it, because they are great leaf colors. But I don't know, I just don't tend to write with like greens. I love off greens, or if they lean blue, because I am definitely a blue person. Love all kinds of blue inks, different shades, doesn't matter, give them to me. And then when they start to lean green, it's nice too. You have a bottle. Wine color. Yeah. Wine color. Yes. That's right. I want them all, right? We don't have enough time to use them all, though. There are some blues I'm not a fan of. Yeah. You know what? Now that you actually say that, I probably don't use, especially for writing with, I don't use the true color of each color, probably. Like, you know, like a royal blue, or like a bright blue, a bright green, a bright purple, maybe not so much. I think I like the off colors, the shades of those colors. Even some of the purples, yeah. I don't normally gravitate towards that color. Purple is definitely one of those colors that I intentionally have to like get myself to use, because I don't naturally pick them up. And I don't have a lot of purple inks. Though maybe they're not as common as like blues and browns, right? But with purples, it's definitely like I have to be sort of, you know, a little bit more aware of using them and picking them out. BPC Ice Rink is a good blue. Love a good navy blue. Yeah, blue black. Or like dusty blues are nice too, so like a blue gray. Yeah, this is nice. Very cool. I like it. It's dark. Nice and dark. That's a good blue. Yeah. You're finishing a bottle of Sailor Seibuku. Yeah, it's very sad. 2 or 3 more fills. Wow. Is that one you use a lot of? Yeah, sounds like it. Yeah, that's a good one. There are certain inks that are just like fundamentally like just a good ink, right? For any kind of writing or drawing even that you might do. I went through, I had carbon black, platinum carbon black cartridges. And I went through a few of those in like quick succession because I was using it for just regular note taking. And so, yeah, that's one of them. Pilot Irishizuku Tsukiyo, just because it's one of the inks that I like to test pens with. So if I get a new pen, sometimes I'll put that in there. Or if a pen is giving me a little trouble and I'm not sure if it's the pen or the ink, then usually I'll, throw in Tsukiyo or something that's similar where I know it's a reliable ink. I don't have any problems with it. And it looks great. Like I love writing with it. So I end up doing that. But otherwise I try and sort of balance out the different inks that I use. So if I end up, if I find that I use a lot of earthy or browns, something like that, I'll kind of intentionally throw a purple in there or a pink. Even though I know it's not going to be one of those colors that I just naturally, pick up and start writing with. But it's kind of nice to have a variation too. BBC Fighting Fish. Let's look these up. Fighting Fish. Oh no. Oh. That's an interesting blue. It's like a sky blue almost. Yeah, wow. The bottle. Too funny. I'll take arc. Ooh, that's interesting. Yeah, I've seen inks similar to this. Rich Merlot sheen in a blue black. Oh wow. That's very cool. Part of the Keystone formula will take arc is built with traditional. Okay, cool. Just light enough to be legible. Yeah. Or if you have it sitting in your pen for a little while and it's like the saturated, version of that ink, and then it starts to get lighter, but that's okay. Very cool. Very interesting. I'm trying to think of any ink bottles that I'm almost done, but I don't think I'm getting too low on any. Definitely some of the inks that I've taken like samples for people out of. But naturally, I don't know if I use just one ink enough to really like be close to finishing it. I do have bottles where I'm like halfway done, but plenty of fills still left. But yeah. It's the way we use inks too. So if you want to use up your inks a little bit more, give out samples and take them out and paint with them. Just keep throwing them on paper. Yeah, it's because you use it in different ways as well. So what do we think? What color are you drawn to? of these four, which one would be your go-to color? Firebox. Yeah, especially if you're into ginger chicken or, you know, those types of, those shades. Yeah, it's a nice one. That would be nice to write with. Apple snail, I love that. Yeah. I wouldn't mind writing with apple snail and seeing how it sort of compares to other like yellow browns. Because it doesn't look so bright that you can't write with it, right? That's always kind of a deal breaker for me. If I can't read it, then I tend not to ink it up. But if I can read it and it's just a little bit on the lighter side or, you know, muted, it's fine. But that would be interesting. I'm into Gumball. Yeah, Gumball is a nice one. But the apple snail is intriguing. You know what? I agree. I don't think I would pick apple snail as the first one to write with, to ink up my pen. But I definitely am intrigued by it the most. And I'm definitely going to explore that a little bit more. Maybe write with it with a dip pen first and then see what it would be like. It's not a yellow where it won't be seen, right? Like, obviously there are yellows out there where you're just like, I can't see this. It's way too bright. Even if you use a broad nib, it's just the color of it, the shade of it is too bright. But I do like that, you know, it's a yellow, but it's not like a sun yellow. I got apple snail as a bundle that they offered. Oh, okay, awesome. Anderillium American Goldfinch, bright yellow. Yeah, they're definitely yellows I've seen. I'm sure Sailor Ink Studio, you know, also has yellows where you're kind of like, I don't know. Aha! Our friend, the pen addict. Anderillium American Goldfinch yellow. Look at the ink in the bottle too. It's like, you know what you're getting into. That's too funny. Oh my goodness. Is this yellow or is this yellow? Wow. Look at how bright this is. Whoa. That is the sun. You need sunglasses if you're going to use this on a daily basis. That's so fun though. I would not write with it for sure, but oh man, that would be so fun to paint with and just like throw onto your page. It's so bright and cheery. Yeah, representative of the bird. So it's nice and bright. I love that it's like you can see the ink in the bottle and there's no faking that yellow. Yeah, if I write with a dip pen, okay, I'll send you a photo. Or I'll share it on socials too. Yeah, I'll send the whole sample to you. Looks that way in a vial too. You can make it, yeah, you could make a good palette with those inks. Yeah, right? Like, that would be a good mixing ink. Yeah, for sure. It's not like it's, it definitely, it's a yellow, so it's not like it leans in a way that would sort of affect inks if you mixed with it. Okay, awesome. A swatch. Oh, yeah, you know, I think any of these, well, probably, if I'm being honest, prickly pear, or Firebox is probably an ink I would right away be like, yeah, I'm gonna ink up a pen with this. No big deal. Gumball is a really nice shade that I would probably ink up because I have a pen that it would look good in. And every once in a while, I lean towards like a mauve or like an off pink or off purple kind of color. And usually it's because there's a pen that I want to put it in. So that's probably a secondary kind of color I would go to. And apple snail would definitely be, something where I have a pen or I just want to explore it more. And that's where I'm leaning with this one, definitely. Use it with a dip pen and then maybe throw it into a pen. Like I have my Leonardo Momento Zero, but I put Gerbon Lidate in here, and that is like my go-to brown. And the ink is just reliable. There's no issues with it. And it's a great pen to have it in. So whenever I kind of run across like a yellow brown or something that's similar, I'm always like, well, I have, my consistently well-behaved inks. But I'm always really intrigued by yellows or yellow browns anyway, in terms of using them for writing. Because they're just not one of those initial inks that I think about when I want to ink up a pen. But it's definitely a kind of, it's a great one to explore. So, very fun. What a great palette. It's different from our palette from last week with my blues. And then we had a little bit of the purple, magenta, and blue in the previous week. But this one's a nice one. This one's very fun. A little fiery. All right. Well, it's 11 here. I am going to make some lunch and head out. Do some things. Get out there. It's nice out. If it is nice where you are, definitely get some outdoor time. And also play with your inks. Paint with them. If you want to use them up a little bit or explore them, definitely take them out, throw them on a palette, do a little bit of painting. Yeah, it's fun. Well, next week, I am probably going to be back to my usual schedule. So Monday and Wednesday, we'll do some drawing, we'll do some painting. I'll have my new ink from the Coffee Monsters Co. You can look at that. And yeah, and hang out. Have a wonderful week. Thanks for being here. Thanks for unofficially rating from the shipping stream from Brad. And yeah, thanks for joining and for all the suggestions for ink. Thank you, because now my list has become longer. That's always fun. Yeah, no problem. I'm glad you were here, Paw Pal Gal. You always need your time with me. Yeah, right? Stay inky. Go play with your stationery. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. And yeah, take out your stationery. Have some fun. Find the joy in them. And I'll see you next week, or I'll see you in other streams. If Lisa's streaming tomorrow morning, then check out all of Octopus's stream. And on the weekend too, it's kind of a fun hang. And yeah, I'll see you friends next week and online. So have a great rest of your week. Have a great weekend. I'll see you soon, okay? Bye. Appreciate you all.